welcome back to the YouTube channel of Pro Enter Vids, and this is already my Manly and Sharks review for tonight's game. Now, often, as you know, I don't often do reviews right after the game ends on the same night all day. Usually it's the next day I upload my review on the game and stuff like that, but look, I got home early enough to be able to do a review on the game. But this is going to be a different type of review. Like, it's not going to be like a swearing or like a shot at players or like a call out sort of type thing. It's not none of that. But it's just giving you a brutal, honest review on how I feel as a Manly fan about how we're going recently and how I guess just to show the passion, the upset I have in what's happening right now, because well, as we know, like, I love the club. They're a team that means a lot to me, and there's no reason why that. Well, I should say that I wouldn't go to every game so far this year if it wasn't for my love for the club. So, like, I still travel to watch the boys play. Like, there's no doubt about that. Like, my support for the club will never stop. Will never stop. Obviously not. Never will. And I will continue to turn up and watch the boys play wherever they play at. Depends how far it is, eh? But it's just disappointing to see what's happening. Like, because I can remember back in February to March, we were just that great dominant looking side. It was the best that I thought we looked ever since 2014 or like the early 2010s. Like, we looked like that sort of side from the trial matches to that Bulldogs, to the Eels game, to the Souths game, even though we lost. We look like a really, really tight team that had a lot of potential building up for this season in 2023. But just to see what's happened the past couple of weeks, there's been a real fall down. And I know that success isn't, and I know finding your best and your success isn't always a straightest mark. There's obviously going to be some bumps and stuff on the way. But I don't know. It's a weird one, isn't it? Because it shouldn't have to take, a second half rev up by the coach or whoever's, going to make the players play better after being down by a lot of points in the first half to eventually show what kind of game that the boys should be actually playing. So it shouldn't have to take the second half and to finally realise that we have to play like this sort of team as we have to. So it's a real mystery, and I'm quite hurt. I won't lie. Does it affect me? Look, no, it doesn't, because it's just a game of footy, and I've learned over time that how Manly I run as a club. I know how we are now. It's not a point where I get upset or I lose it. It's not worth it anymore. It's not worth it. It's just about, like, I guess, understanding that the team and how what's our strengths and weaknesses, and I can identify that pretty easily. So it's just look, it's all about just supporting the boys and whatever they go through, and I really love all the players. I love the team a lot, but I guess I'm just allowed to be hurt and allowed to be upset about how they're playing at the moment. But yeah, look, based on tonight's game, it wasn't it. It was exactly like how you played against the Titans and the Broncos. Our first halves are not good enough. We don't seem to come out of the blocks with aggression. Like, how come from that Storm game back at Rookie a couple of weeks ago, how come in that game we knew how to come out of the blocks and we knew how to come out with aggro and aggression, and now to come to the other games that have happened in the last 3 weeks, we seem to look like our 2022 selves. Like, I don't get it. I know we had players out, and I know Schuster's a big loss to the team because he gives Tom space to roam around and play his best footy. Hence why Tom is not in his best form at the moment. But I think the aggression, that part of our game should never change. If despite having players out, like that part of the game should never ever change in us. And that's you can't just say without a few players that our aggression has to drop, because at the start of the year we didn't have Saab, we didn't have Schuster round one, we didn't have a few players actually, and we still turned up with that same aggression, that same Manly mentality from ages back into our game that we've implemented this year so far. And it seems that we've gone away from the last 3 weeks. So what's the deal there? I don't know. I really don't know. It's a weird one, isn't it? Because I thought this team was mentally strong and mentally built, because Seabold was all about bringing the boys together and making them connected as a whole. But it seems like for some reason they've dropped off ever since that Storm game, or more so, I should say, more after that Rabbitohs loss around round 4. I feel like after that Golden Point loss, I think I took a lot out of the boys. It felt like, because after that, we had a draw to Newcastle, which wouldn't have happened if we actually won that South game, I think. So we would have beaten Newcastle if we were confident after winning against the Souths, which didn't happen. Got smashed by Penrith, but came back and beat the Storm, which was a great game to win. And we were okay against the Tigers, but we weren't fantastic. It was a lucky win, I will admit that, but we will take it. And then just the Titans game, the Broncos game, and tonight's game against the Sharks. It's been a real tough patch. And it hasn't been like a smashing like type games, but they haven't been like great results on our behalf. So yeah, it's a really weird one, and I don't know. I'm just really upset as a fan. I love to just see the boys turn up and play how they did at the start of the year, because I really believed in us at the start of the year and what we were building. Like, I was all for it. I was really happy with the direction that the team was taking after a terrible year last year, and I was full support of it. I was full support of Seabold and everything. And look, I'm not dropping my support for Seabold or anything. And if you're a fan saying that Seabold deserves to be sacked and deserves to be kicked out the door and stuff, well, it shows where you're at, because I don't think Seabold can control what the players are doing in the field, because I think it's pretty obvious that they're well coached. They're a well coached side to bring that aggression and bring that sort of tactic that they probably are told to implement in their game. But for whatever reason, it just seems that the players don't give that extra 110% on the field. So it seems to me that it's a player mentality thing. And I think just, if the players aren't going to turn up and do their job, well, there have to be some changes. And, I'm not that sort of fan that's going to call out players. I hate calling out players. I know I used to do it on this channel a fair bit, but over time, I've just learned not to do that, because it's not worth it. And, I don't want to call out players, because all the players mean well. They're all great humans, and they're just a good bunch of blokes. Let's be honest, they are. But because they're not playing well at the moment, it's hard to not say anything. But I guess we know what kind of players, or who the players are that weren't showing enough effort as of recent. So it's pretty obvious. But yeah, you got to hope those players show something the next couple of weeks. Otherwise, their spot's in jeopardy, obviously. But I am quite sad about how we're going. I really do hope the boys do come back soon and play some good footy. Got Canberra next week in Canberra, which I might go to, but I don't know. We'll see. It's a tough trip. In the week after, Knights in Newcastle, which is another, it might be another losable game. Could go to that one as well. And then we've got Parramatta at CommBank, I'm pretty sure, or someone else after. Or the bye. Parramatta and someone else coming up too, but it's a tough one, isn't it, for Manly? I just don't know where to really where the team should really turn our season around. It's a tough one, and I'm really passionate about seeing the boys play every week, and I'm really looking forward to watching them play. I really love the team. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm a really big fan, and I know I might be young and stuff, but I love watching them play every week. I love being there to support them. I love being there to show my passion for the club and how I love representing the club every week. Like, I really am proud to be a Manly supporter to this day, but it's just it just gets to that point where I'm really I guess upset, because I spend money, I travel to watch the boys play, and I don't really seem to put that effort in. But look, it's not all about how I feel. It's about how the fans feel, I think, as well. So hopefully they go back to that mentality way of thinking, that, because at the start of the year, right, they were always like, oh, we're going to turn up for a Fortress rookie. We're always going to turn up for the fans. There's so much expectation to be there and turn up. And no better than Golden Eagles Day and Mother's Day today. So they didn't turn up for those two occasions, which is sad enough. That's West Tigers stuff, not to turn up for big occasions. If you know, you know. But yeah, I think it's disappointing, because they've already talked about so much about how they want to turn up for the fans and turn up for Fortress Bookie and stuff. Well, it's not happening, isn't it? So look, until the boys do find some aggression and find something in their game that they can really keep playing off the back of, I don't know how we're going to go the next couple of weeks. Be tough, but look, I'll be there. I'll be supporting the boys, and I'll be ready to cheer them on no matter what. But everyone, that brings an end to the review. Thank you for watching. Make sure to like the video. Subscribe to the YouTube channel and comment your thoughts on the game as well. But this is more so of a emotional, brutal review, if anything.